Hey guys, what's up? This video came from a session in Saint's stream, and this character is soul level 60 with +7 weaponry, and he was invading at Pontiff. So I normally don't invade at Pontiff, and it's pretty much for the reason that you'll see in this video. I find it incredibly frustrating most of the time. This particular gank has actually been going on for 15 minutes already by the time I start this video. All told, it was almost a half an hour that I spent in this host world, going through numerous rounds of reds, blues, Aldrich Faithful, you name it, they were all there. The constant was this host here, the parry spammer, and then his shitty sun bro with the Black Knight shield. It's funny actually. He doesn't use the shield at all. The Sunbro's play is super predictable. He does lots of rolling attacks. But I guess when you have a host that just can continually resummon you when you get killed, it doesn't really matter. So at this point, actually, I had killed the Sunbro twice already, and I'm about to kill him for the third time. I think I kill him 2 or 3 more times before the video finally ends. And this just reinforces for me the frustration here isn't the ganks per se. You know, I can deal with the ganks. It's having shitty teammates that die all the time to dumb shit, and teammates that hit you all the time when you've got a host pinned. So obviously the Sunbro dies. I know immediately where this host is headed. He's headed back to resummon. And I know there's supposed to be some sort of delay here. I don't know how big it is. I don't know how effective it is. You know, one of the small mercies of this game and its dying popularity is that hosts cannot as easily run back here and just summon in some Joe random to help them gank. A lot of times they actually have to wait for their password summon buddy. But this guy, as you can see, he's a total parry spammer, and unfortunately that kind of strat can be somewhat effective in a situation like this where your Estus pool is effectively unending as your gank takes on red after red after red after red. If you make a mistake, at most you eat a couple R1s, maybe you get backstab. But you saw even with a Hornet Ring backstab there, I wasn't doing that much damage to the guy. But with that big ass weapon, if he successfully calls one of the parries, then he can easily one-shot you. So it's essentially he can whiff 20, 30 times, but if he gets it right once, it probably pays for itself. And that's the part of the parry calculus that I really wish that the game would address. It makes too much sense in these situations to be a parry spammer. So here you can see I'm hanging back for the Sunbro that I know is on his way, so I figure I can deal with him before he can reach the main gank. But unfortunately, the host was cagey enough to come back. He knew what I was doing, so I gotta give him credit there, and I ended up paying for it with a backstab. I know Saints made at least one video about this, and I think probably multiple, the guard your yard, and essentially how do you keep a summoner class from resummoning. And you know, the worst thing that you can do in these situations is hit each other, because the more you hit each other, the closer you each are to death, and the closer you are to death, the closer the host is to another 2 Estus. And what you really want to do is just bleed his Estus over time. Be patient. And you can see I'm a little guilty of it too, but I see the Aldrich Faithful here as I think like a Cathedral Knight Greatsword, which is just completely inappropriate in this type of situation where you've got 3 invaders that are all trying to chase a host, and we can all hit each other. One of the other things about this build right here is it's not at all optimized. So this is actually my low-level invader, my soul level 36, that I kind of respec whenever Saint has his streams, and that way I can target exactly his soul level, his weapon upgrade level, you know, and the probability of being able to join him or other stream participants in invasions. And actually, I had some earlier today with Project Goof, which did not go nearly as well as I would have liked. He managed to survive in a ganker's world like this probably for a half an hour. I got killed 3 times in that same span and just kept reinvading that same ganker's world. But it was a nasty gank. It was 4 players, a mage, somebody using a big heavy weapon, somebody trying to parry, somebody with a quick weapon, and those things just go together so terribly against an invader. It was very difficult for me to try to find an opening that didn't expose me to getting hit, and it was in the dungeon. And so it's really hard to pull the players away. And so when all 4 of them are right on top of each other, it's incredibly difficult. I think over the course of the half hour, we probably went through 6 or 7 dark moons that got summoned in. We went through probably 5 or 6 red invaders. And then at least another 4 or 5 Aldrich Faithful. And so right here, obviously the Aldrich Faithful dies, and now we've got a problem. Now it's 3 on 2. And obviously, not only is it 3 on 2, it's 3 people that can't hit each other. So they can pile on you without regard to one another. I mean, obviously, most invaders know this already, but I think it just bears mentioning because it is such a huge, huge, huge thing. And I think a lot of gankers come here and they think, well, it's 3 on 3 or whatever. It's pretty fair, but that's not really the case. Things are much, much more difficult for the invaders because of their ability to hit each other. And now all the other invaders are dead, and I'm the only one left. And now I've got 3 of these guys chasing me down. So at this point, I could stay and fight, but I don't have a weapon at this point that's capable of kicking out enough damage to keep these guys at bay. So sticking around just is completely impractical. Again, the weapons I have right now are not really good at this soul level. They're my soul level 36 weapons that I've just upgraded to +7. I'm actually working on a character that I can use full-time at this soul level that'll be appropriately leveled, the right weaponry, etc. So again, I'm just trying to buy myself time here. I consider Black Crystalline out just because I don't want to give the host any Estus. At this point, though, I have enough Estus where I feel like I can stick around and I can have a go at it and just try to avoid these guys long enough to get some reinforcements. So I successfully bait those guys to jump down and get some distance between us, but unfortunately I did not roll the host in time. I don't have the Silver Cat ring on, and unfortunately the reason is because, again, it's really due to this build. I've got the FAP ring and the Prisoner's Chain on, and I need both of those to be able to wear the armor that I'm wearing. Given more time, I would probably change the armor out so I could remove my dependency on one of those rings. Oh, this guy's so predictable. But I've got Prisoner's Chain, I've got the FAP ring, and then I've got the Life ring, and I really feel all those are important, and so it really only gives me one ring to play around with, which I've kind of been swapping between Obscuring and the Hornet ring. And right now, I'm getting salty as fuck. Like, I'm really pissed at this point. This fight's been going on for so long, and at this point I'm really, really afraid that the host is going to win. And I really, really, really do not want the host to win. I mean, I've been in plenty of these ganks before. I've lost plenty of them. I've won my share. But I think I was consumed by like this visceral need to absolutely just crush this host. And right on cue, here's the host heading back to home base so he can summon his buddy in again. I'm getting a bit more aggressive with my R1s here on my straight sword because he had kind of backed off his parry spamming. I think probably because I had stabbed him in the back so many times because of it. But what I really need on this build is like a good dagger that can put some teeth into my criticals. And there I was playing a little sloppy. I'm getting impatient here because of my frustration. And the host there, you can tell he's got a little bit of experience. He saw that he was getting caught in roll catches, and so he turned around and used his hyper armor to force me to back off. And unfortunately, this purple at the moment is not filling me with a huge amount of confidence. He's not doing a good job of kind of letting me get in and get my hits and then back off. He's hitting me. He's swinging his sword without any regard to where I am at all. And now I'm down to one Estus. And so kind of in the back of my mind, I'm already kind of trying to make plans for what I'm going to do. Do I want to try to black crystal out of here if I run out of Estus? Because the last thing in the world I want to do is give this host more Estus. At this point, though, I'm just going to try and hang in here and kind of do as much damage as I can. Maybe get rid of this Sunbro so I can at least get some Estus from him. For like the third or fourth time today, I catch him with that exact same move. And I don't know what the purple did there, but he managed to kill the host. I managed to come over here and make sure to get that critical point down. Thanks for checking in, guys.